Hello everybody, welcome back to Gyandan. Today we're going to be looking at 100 things every designer needs to know about people. Suzanne M. Wednesday. How people remember. Chapter 23. Memory takes a lot of mental resources. In the latest research on unconscious mental processing shows that people receive 40 billion sensory inputs every second and are consciously aware of 40 at any one time. Doesn't this mean that we can deal with and remember more than 4 things at a time? When you perceive a sensory input, for example, a sound, the feel of the wind on your skin, a rock that is in front of you, you perceive that something exists. You don't have to remember it necessarily or do something with the information. Conscious awareness of 40 things is different than consciously processing 40 bits of information. It takes a lot of mental resources to think about, remember, process, represent, and encode information. Memory is easily disrupted. Imagine you're listening to a presentation or a conference. When the presentation is finished, you meet your friend in the lobby of a hotel. What was the talk about? She asks. You're most likely to remember what was seen and heard at the end of the talk. This is called the recency effect. If your phone vibrates during a presentation and you stop listening for a minute to text someone, then you're most likely to remember the beginning of the presentation and forget the ending. This is called the suffix effect. Interesting facts about memory. You can store concrete words, table, chair, in long-term memory more easily than abstract words such as justice and democracy. When you are sad, you tend to remember sad things. You can't remember much before the age of 3. You can remember things that you see, visual memory, better than words. People sleep and dream, so we will remember. Some of the best research happens through serendipity. In 1991, neuroscientist Matthew Wilson was studying brain activity in rats as they ran mazes. One day he accidentally left the rats hooked up to the equipment he used to record their brain activity. The rats eventually fell asleep. To his surprise, he found that their brain activity was almost the same whether they were sleeping or running mazes. Dion G. and Wilson 2007 started a series of experiments to study this further. Their experiments have led them to a theory, not just about rats, but about people. When people sleep and dream, they are reworking or consolidating their experiences from the day. Specifically, they're consolidating new memories and making new associations from the information they process during the day. Their brains are deciding what to remember and what to forget. Why rhymes are easier to remember. Phonological, sound of words, coding, can help retrieve information. Before there was written language, stories were memorized and retold in rhyming verses. The activation of one line in verse was more easily triggers the next verse. For example, you may have learned 30 days had September, April, June and November. This is an example of phonological coding. Key takeaways. Use concrete terms and icons. They will be easier to remember. Let people rest and even sleep if you want them to remember information. Try not to interrupt people if they are learning or encoding information. Information in the middle of a presentation will be the least likely to be remembered. To be continued. Thank you for watching the video. Like, share, subscribe.